This guy literally thinks we're all peasants and we're supposed to aspire to be like the 1%. You know why there's 1% of rich people? Because this world is designed to keep you poor, living paycheck to paycheck, tired. Tell me why people have to go work 8 hours if you're supposed to sleep for 8 hours. You're sleeping for 8 hours, have to get up and work for 8 hours, not even see your kids when you first get up because you have to get up and go to work. Not even enjoy your children growing up because you're so tired that you have to go to work. And those that work graveyard shifts, it's even worse for them. This world is designed to keep you tired and not have you thinking about the possibilities of even owning a business or even running a business or any of that sort, because you're too tired. You come home, you're too tired. You have to sleep for 8 hours, work for 8 hours, and they took your whole life away. And people don't even realize that because they're like, oh, this is not too woke stuff. People have already figured this out. Imagine having to work for 8 hours and having to sleep for 8 hours of your life, and they took your whole life. You only get 24 hours in the day. That's 16 hours of your life they've already taken. It's already designated to the government and your job. A job that doesn't care about you. If something happened to you and you were to pass away, they've already had a replacement for you. Like the lady that was sitting in her cubicle for 4 days and they didn't even notice. How do you not notice an employee had not shown up to work for 4 days? Explain that. Because life goes on? Okay. So that's a crazy statement. There's people that have devoted their whole lives. They have devoted their whole lives to their job and never was late, on time, and always came to work every single day for 30 years. You know what the job had to give to them? A little drawstring bag with some goodies in it that says, thank you for working with us for so many years, for being on time, for being a good exemplary employee. Here, let's give you a little goodie bag. Are you kidding me? There has been this man that has showed up to work, not late, on time, for like 30 years. And the only thing they had to give him was a drawstring bag with little goodies in it that says thank you. While these CEOs are kicking up their feet with their chairs tilted back as they're planning their next vacation with their family, while you're sitting here deciding whether or not you pay your light bill or you feed your kids. Make that make sense. While you decide whether or not you want to become homeless and save your money to get a place because you can't afford a place, or continue to keep your place to work. Right? And some of y'all really hate hearing this. Some of us are not built to work a 9-to-5 job. I don't want to work and make money for somebody. Imagine me working for somebody and making them billions while I'm not making anything. That is insane to me that some of y'all want me to be stuck in a miserable job, making money for someone else that doesn't even care about my well-being, my mental health, anything of the sorts. They don't care about your mental health. You want to take a mental health break? Sorry, you can't do that. You lose money when you do. You want to go to a concert? You want to have a day off? You want to celebrate your birthday? Sorry, you can't. You got to celebrate your birthday at McDonald's saying, may I take your order? You want to go on vacation? Sorry, you can't do that. You decide to go on a vacation, they always find a way to say, I know that you said you was going on vacation, but we have someone that is out of work. Can you work? You tell them no. They say, well, then we're going to fire you. What's more important, this vacation or your job? This girl was driving, right? Because her family member was in an accident. And she asked to get off of work and they said no. And her family member was about to pass away in the hospital. And she has to she was driving to Las Vegas from another state and they said no. And she said, well, I quit. Because if I'm not allowed to go in this emergency, which is an emergency you should have let her off for, no, you told her that she couldn't do that. This is insane to me how some people say I want to be lazy. I'm not lazy. Unlike you, I am working very hard to have a financial stable living situation. Whether you think so, I think I am or not, I want you to think that. It's because you think that about yourself. I don't have to sit here and take nothing from nobody. I don't have to answer to a boss. I don't have to do what they tell me to do. I don't have to tread lightly so I don't get fired. I don't have to do any of that. Why would I have to tiptoe around what I have to say? You can't do this. You can't do that. If you speak up and advocate for yourself when you know something's not right, but your boss is a horrible boss, so you still have to let it happen because you know it's not right. But if you say something, they're going to be like, you're fired, so you have to let it happen. I watched someone contaminate ice cream, and I literally had to let it happen because if I would have said something, I would have got blamed and I would have got fired. I was hanging on to my Dunkin' Donuts job. This lady literally grabbed a tester spoon and tested the ice cream, and ice cream from her spoon fell back into the ice cream. And I couldn't say anything to the boss about, hey, you know, one of the co-workers is eating ice cream over the ice cream. Because if I would have done that, I would have been fired. So I just have to let people get sick and have contaminated ice cream because I couldn't say anything because I would have got fired. How do I know? Because my boss was already treating me horribly. How do I know? Because my boss had been treating me badly and was finding every reason to fire me. That's how I know. She would find every single reason to have an issue with me when there wasn't one. And even when we did have a manager at the time, when I first worked there, we had a manager. When I had continued to work there, we didn't have a manager because the manager quit to get a job with better pay because she couldn't really afford living. So she had to quit being a manager to find a job that pays her more. Her daughter ended up having to drop out of public school just to even be able to provide and work for the family because she couldn't continue her high schooling because she had to help her mother take care of, you know, the household. That's crazy. People like kids, teenagers should not have to do that, but I understand why she wanted to help her mother, but then again, you know, she missed out on her schooling because of that. And in no way should that have to happen. Like, parents should be making enough money to be able to provide for their kids, but sadly they're not. This boss was always trying to find a reason to have an issue with me, and if I would have said it was her, she would have said it was me. She would have probably looked at the cameras, she would have probably saw it was the other person, but then she still would have blamed me and said it was me. I have people have a tendency of accusing me of things I've never done.